we send peace and salutations upon Rasulullah sallallahu لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Inshallah, a few verses from the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make intention to learn the Quran, to recite the Quran, to understand the Quran. And the situation with the Quran wasn't only to read the Quran, but the situation with the Quran while we are learning the lessons and we're trying to understand the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there should be another intention, niyyah, that we make amal with whatever we do. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said, نزل القرآن ليعمل به فاتخذ الناس تلاوته عملا. Quran came so that people make amal. But then, of course, you're getting thawab for the tilawah. You're getting thawab for the tilawah. But why are we getting thawab for the tilawah? Have you ever asked yourself, what is 10 hasanat? 1 letter 10 hasanat. Why the thawab? Us to recite so that we understand, so that we make amal. The reward is allocated. If you recite and you don't understand, what if you recite and you you miss the major thawab, because the main thawab is that you recite, understand, make amal with the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Open your kitab inshallah, Surah Al-Naml. Surah Al-Naml, Juz 19, verse number 19. Surah Al-Naml, verse number 19. Al-Naml. Okay? The surah spoke about the ants. Sorry, verse 18 and 19. From 18 up. Starting from verse 18 up. If you don't have the Quran, you can have the Quran. We have a lot of Quran here, inshallah. You can just have the Quran from here. Or you can read from the phone, or you can just follow up with us, inshallah. The story of Sayyidina Sulaiman with the ants and with the birds and Bilqis, etc. We read together, inshallah, just for the thawab of the recitation as well. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. حتى إذا أتوا على واد النمل قالت نملة إذا أتوا على واد النمل. You can read as you hear from here. Even if you didn't look into the Quran itself, you can just read as you hear. حتى إذا أتوا على واد النمل. قالت نملة يحطمنكم سليمان وجنوده وهم لا يشعرون. Recite one verse, but let's see when we read, we try to learn how to ponder. Okay. So the verses are narrating a story where Sayyidina Sulaiman, Prophet Solomon, peace be upon him, came across a valley of ants. He came across a valley of ants. حتى إذا أتوا على واد النمل, until he came into a valley of ants, a valley where there are lots of ants. And Allah spoke about the creations of Allah beside mankind. إنهم إلا أمم أمثالكم. Every single creation of Allah that you see, they are nations like us. Nations of ants, nations of birds, nations of animals, different kinds of animals, nations like us, and they glorify Allah and they worship Allah in their own way. They have the glorification and a value of ants. Now, one of the ants started to speak up to warn her people, that the arm of Sulaiman alayhi salam is coming, so we all should go into our dwellings and our homes because they're going to step on us and they're not receiving. So this reminded me of also, sometimes we consider the ants to be insignificant, and sometimes we kill the ants. And Islamically, it is not allowed to kill it unless it is harmful to you. The ants especially, and generally any living being that is not harmful to you. You are not allowed to kill it unless it's really harmful. Like it's in the house and it's destroying things in the house. Okay, that's an issue. This is something that is harmful, right? But and some scholars said that you even talk to them, even say to them, like warn them. We give you 3 days to come out of the house. Second day, you tell them the same thing. 3 days after that, you can do whatever you want to do to them. Why? Because they worship Allah. They also worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they glorify Allah. And I should mention that Sayyidina, one of the Anbiya of Allah, passed by a valley of ants, so the ant bit him. So when the ant bit him, he wanted to burn all the dwellings of the ants, the whole nation of the ant in that area. So Allah Azza wa Jal awha ilayhi. Allah revealed to that Prophet that because one ant bit you want those ants that glorify Allah, not destroy one whole nation of ants that glorify Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are here to fix the earth, not to spoil the earth and corrupt it. Understand? So the other creations of Allah, we need to condition and learn to live together. Sometimes you see yourself in the wilderness and people see a snake there in the wilderness. He is in his own dwelling and he's not harming you. Why do you go chase it and kill it? You understand? Even a snake, if it's not in your house, it's not harmful to you and he's in his place, why do you go chase it and kill it for no valid reason? You understand? Right, so they also worship Allah in their own way. So when Sayyidina Sulaiman passed by the valley of the ants, قالت نملة, an ant said, يا أيها النمل. Now, beautiful reflection. قالت نملة, an ant said. It was an ordinary ant. This is nakira, namlatun nakira, not al-namla. قالت النملة. النملة with alif al-lam means a certain ant. Maybe an ant of a high esteem. Maybe a minister ant. Maybe a queen ant. No. قالت نملة. Any namla. An insignificant namla. Insignificant ant. She spoke out and she said, quick. They don't stick on you. What is the lesson that we learn? An ant, an ordinary, and about the salvation of our people. And don't say, it's not my business, I'm not a da'iyah to Allah, I am not a big scholar, I am not a mufti. An ordinary ant was giving da'wah to her people. An ordinary ant, unknown ant, she was so concerned about the salvation of her people and the protection of her people. So don't say, I am convey the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regardless of your position. Whether you are on top, you are leader, you are not leader, convey the, save the ummah, save the world, invite them to the deen of Allah, fix the earth to the best of your ability. قالت نملة, an ant spoke up, and they said, يا أيها النمل, oh ants, speak to the whole ants in their language. Allah said that ants spoke in the language of the ants. That Sayyidina Sulaiman already understood, because Sayyidina Sulaiman could understand the language of the ants. Prophet Solomon, peace be upon him, could understand the language of the birds, the language of the ants, the language of certain creations. That's why when he spoke about his understanding, he said, عُلِّمْنَا مَنْطِقَ الطَّيْرِ. Allah taught us the way of how the birds communicate. And Allah taught him the way of how the ants communicate. Some atheists one day would have a language. We don't see the ant have a voice or something like that. I say, certainly they have a way of communication. I'm not saying that, but you don't have a voice. I said, it doesn't matter. Whatever way of communication they have, communication. So when he understood, back to the verse, يا أيها النمل ادخلوا مساكنكم, enter your dwellings, لا يحطمنكم سليمان وجنوده. So that Sulaiman and his soldiers mustn't crush you. Use the word يحطمن, crush you. Said the body of the ants itself, it has certain components that are like glass. It breaks. Have you seen, sometimes you see an ant, when there's a fight between the ants, you see the ants are like broken into pieces. The ants itself broken into pieces. It's not like a lenient body or something. So it crushes, the ants get crushed. I've seen that myself. Where the ants, small pieces, there's a fight between them, there are small pieces, it's like dots, you know. So the Quran mentioned, لا يحتمنكم, and you will be crushed. يحتمنكم, حطام means crushing, like rubble, you know. لا يحتمنكم سليمان وجنوده. So that Solomon and his soldiers. So it shows also another lesson. It shows that the ants were aware of the surroundings, and that ordinary ant was aware of the surroundings. Who was the ruler in the world today? Oh, it's Solomon, and he's a prophet of Allah. An ant that was somewhere in the huge kingdom of Allah knew that there is a prophet, his name is Sulaiman, and he's coming and our soldiers and to us. But yet they came to know all of these things. The ants came to know all of the surroundings. Zimbabwe, so what? Zimbabwe? Where is Zimbabwe? Some people, they don't know the geography. They don't know who's like someone in Egypt, they were asking who's the president. She said, and past president, this is the president today. They didn't know. A lot of people who aren't aware. They are out of history, out of geography, out of everything. They just live it. We need to be well cultured of what's around us. We want a Muslim who's مثقف الفكر, well cultured Muslim. We don't want a Muslim who's ignorant of what's happening around. That's a lesson for us. If an ant was well cultured of what's happening, we as the Muslims, we must also be well cultured of what's around us. We should know about sociology, about politics, about this, about that, and interact in our community, and not live in a small ghetto and we close on ourselves and we don't interact in our community. Understand what? What saves this community in the past decades is that the community here was so interacting. So we have Rahima Musa, we have Tuan Guru, we have Imam Harun Road. We have, those figures were actually figures that were interacting in the community. That's why they left an impact. Imagine if the youth of today will become something that will oppress the ummah. Do you understand, everyone? We're leaving the effort of the community around us. We need to understand this lesson. So Anam was already interacting and checking and knowing what's happening around. Said. So when she said that, she said, لا يحتمنكم سليمان وجنوده وهم لا يشعرون. She said, why are they not perceiving? There's a lesson here. Who can pick up the lesson? وهم لا يشعرون. There's a lesson in that. وهم لا يشعرون. Dars. What is the dars here? In وهم لا يشعرون. Crush you while they don't perceive. The dars here is حسن الظن. The ant had good expectation of Sayyidina Sulaiman. He didn't say, oh, they're going to crush us on purpose. They're coming around here, they intend enmity to us. Like some people, you know? No. She had good expectation. They will crush us. They won't perceive. They won't know. They might not see us at all. So they will step on us while not realizing. So she sought excuse for them. She already sought excuse to Sayyidina Sulaiman and so that they won't see us. So they'll crush us without seeing us. It's a huge army. You understand? So can we learn this lesson that when someone speak or say something to us, we don't jump into bad conclusions. When something happens, etc. around, why did he do this to me? Maybe he meant this and this and that. And we start to think bad of the person. Maybe there is an excuse that you don't understand. Always introduce good excuses for your brother. For your Muslim brothers, introduce good excuses. Some people are masters in that. They're masters in misinterpreting you. You say something, you misinterpret. You have to clarify and do extra effort to clarify to the person because his intention is not good. You think bad of everybody. Some people are like that. They love to think bad of others. And you maybe say something very good, means like that. He goes to the far meaning. who interpreted a different interpretation. I didn't mean what you spoke about, brother. Think good of me. I didn't mean that bad meaning. And expectation of Sayyidina Sulaiman. So listen. All these lessons is one verse. When you reflect, you come to this understand. Right. Then he said, وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. Now Sayyidina Sulaiman understood that language of the act. فَتَبَسَّمَ ضَاحِكًا. He smiled and laughed. فَتَبَسَّمَ ضَاحِكًا مِنْ قَوْلِهَا. He smiled and he was amazed. He was happy that there is an ant who had that gut and that courage to speak and to honor people, etc., etc. Then he didn't only smile and was happy, but he was so thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who granted him that ability to understand the ants. He was so happy, and also when he was so happy, he did not forget that Allah is the one who gave him that ability. So he started to praise Allah. Whenever Allah accomplishes for you something, make sure to praise Allah. Don't forget to praise Allah. This is the best praise. The best praise is that what comes after feeling the ni'mah. Istish'ar al-ni'mah. You understand the ni'mah. You pick up the ni'mah. Right? Many of you may be feeling hot now. And then you drink some cold water. This is the best time to say Alhamdulillah for the water. For the water. But you felt it. Alhamdulillah. This sweet water. If you don't have the sweet water and this cold water, and you drink it in a very hot place, Alhamdulillah, ala ni'mat al-ma. All praise to Allah who granted us water. You will be questioned by the way. The tafsir of al-na'im is the cold water. What is al-na'im? The cold water. Do you praise Allah for it or not? Understand? Right. Moving on. فتبسم ضاحكا من قولها. As soon as he realized the ni'mah, وقال رب أوزعني. He said, Ya Allah. He's thankful to Allah now. He said, Ya Rabbi أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك. Ya Allah, give me the power to be thankful. So he understood that this is a blessing, and he did not depend upon himself to thank the blessing. He said, Ya Allah, give me that power to thank the blessing. Because even the ability to thank Allah, this is a blessing by itself that needs us to thank Allah for it. When you see yourself as a blessing, that you should thank Allah for it. Understand? When you see yourself showing gratitude to Allah, it's a blessing by itself that needs you to thank Allah for it. That's why some of the Salihin said, Ya Rabbi kayfa ashkuruka wa shukruka yahtaju ila shukr. Ya Allah, how can you, we even say it. Yani instead to say, Alhamdulillah ala ni'mati alhamdulillah. All praises to Allah for the blessing of saying all praise to Allah. It's a blessing from Allah. Whatever you enjoy from blessings, physical blessings and spiritual blessings, including your salah, your piety, your taqwa, your mahdu fadl min Allah alayk, is by the fadl and the grace of Allah upon you. It's not because of your cleverness, it's by the fadl of Allah. Thank and praise Allah. Alhamdulillah. لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you thank Allah, will give you more understanding and more blessings and more taqwa and more ibadah, etc. فتبسم ضاحكا من قولها وقال رب أوزعني. Look at this beautiful dua. Look at this beautiful dua. And this dua came after shukr, after praising Allah, and after a certain situation in the life of Sayyidina Sulaiman. He said, Ya Allah, grant me the power to be thankful to you for your blessings, which you bestowed upon me. نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي. And you bestowed upon my parents. Because Allah also bestowed the blessings of interacting with the animals and the birds upon Sayyidina Dawood alayhi salam. Sayyidina Dawood also interacted with the surroundings. That when he used to recite the verses of Allah, the birds and the animals around him and the mountains, they used to also recite with him, with Sayyidina Dawood alayhi salam. So he said, Ya Allah, give me the power and enable me to be thankful to this blessing which you bestowed upon me and upon my father, upon my parents. وَأَنْ أَعْمَلَ صَالِحًا. And give me the ability to do righteous deeds. So give me the ability to be thankful and give me the ability to do righteous deeds. وَأَنْ أَعْمَلَ صَالِحًا. Look, he was very specific. He said, وَأَنْ أَعْمَلَ صَالِحًا تَرْضَاهُ. Not وَأَنْ أَعْمَلَ صَالِحًا and I said, Ya Allah, give me the ability to do good deeds. There is something missing here. What is it? Al-Ikhlas. Maybe it's not accepted. So it's not amal. It's not only do good deeds. No. عَمَلٌ صَالِحٌ تَرْضَاهُ. Ya Allah, give me the ability to do good deeds that is accepted by you. If it's good deeds not accepted by Allah, what is the benefit? You come in the day of judgment, تحسبه ماء يحسبه الظمآن ماء حتى إذا جاءه لم يجده شيئا. The person who's thirsty, walking in the desert, he sees some bottle of water far away. When he gets closer, it was mirage. It was just mirage. Likewise, some people will come on Judgment Day thinking that Salah, Ibadah, etc. The person was doing some sinful acts in secret, it destroyed all of that. ذنوب الخلوات, destroyed all the hasanat. You understand? So always praise Allah and ask Allah for qabul, for acceptance. وأدخلني برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين. And let me enter through your mercy among the righteous people in Jannah. Let me enter through your mercy and be included among the righteous people in Jannah. What did Rasulullah say when he was Allahumma al-rafiq al-a'la, Allahumma al-rafiq al-a'la. Ya Allah, I want to be with the highest company, with the noble. But he said, I'm not going to enter Jannah because of my actions. No, I'm going to enter Jannah through the mercy of Allah. The Prophet said, any one of you enter Jannah through the mercy of Allah. The action do just to entitle you to receive the mercy of Allah. Just to entitle you to be in Jannah, to be in the mercy of Allah, to do right. The price of Jannah. So Sayyidina Sulaiman understood. He said, وَأَنَا أَعْمَلَ صَالِحًا. Let me enter through your mercy among the pious people. Not through my amal, not through my cleverness, not through my salah. No. through your mercy. وَأَدْخِلْنِي بِرَحْمَتِكَ فِي عِبَادِكَ الصَّالِحِينَ. To be included among the Salihin. Now imagine if the Anbiya, this should Man ahabba qawman hushira ma'ahum. If you love certain companions, good people, you will be with them. May Allah gather all this gathering in Jannah together, inshallah. May we be together in paradise. I don't hear Ameen loud. وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وأدخلني برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين. And let me enter through your mercy among the pious servants. Then he said, the verse after says, وتفقد الطير فقال ما لي لا أرى الهدهد أم كان من الغائبين. He checked the birds, the different kinds of birds. Sayyidina Sulaiman, Allah سخر له الطير. Allah Azza wa Jal made the birds under his command. Allah made the jinn under his command. Allah made so many creations under the permission of Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam because of his dua. When he made dua, رَبِّ اغْفِرْ لِي وَهَبْ لِي مُلْكًا لَا يَنْبَغِي لِأَحَدٍ مِّن بَعْدِي إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْوَهَّابُ. He made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, Ya Allah, forgive me and grant me a kingdom that no one will have it after me. A kingdom that no one had such kingdom like that. So Allah accepted the dua of Sayyidina Sulaiman and granted him that kind of a kingdom. Understand here? But something to mention here is that he said, رَبِّ اغْفِرْ لِي وَهَبْ. A reflection. When you want your dua to be accepted, start first with istighfar. That's why after we say, رَبَّنَا ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا. Istighfar first. After istighfar, forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if there is any sins, the sins are removed, the dua get accepted easily. First thing always to ask Allah for forgiveness. And the second, he said, رَبِّ اغْفِرْ لِي وَهَبْ لِي. Istighfar answer the dua. Istighfar help in the answer of the dua. Ya Allah, forgive me, istighfar, and then you make dua after that. That's why many of the ulama speak about, if you want a child, make istighfar. And then you ask Allah after that. Allah answer. Istighfar for 100 times, 50 times, 1,000 times. Get accepted. One of the secrets of the acceptance. It is mentioned that one of the A'immah of the Salihin in the past, he was deprived into any masjid, injustice during that time. Not the Khulafa al-Rashideen and the other time after that. Some ulama said it's Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. But anyway, when he wanted to get into the masjid, it was a rainy night. So they took that Imam, the great Imam, and they threw him out. The soldiers took him off the masjid and threw him out. So when he was thrown out, he came in front of a tent of someone who was baking bread, a baker. He was baking bread inside his tent, preparing the bread, etc. for the next day. And as he was making the dough for the bread, he would say, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah. He said to the Imam, come inside. He didn't know the Imam, it was night time and the rain night. He sympathized and said, come inside until the rain finished. So he came inside. And then he was baking, as he was preparing the dough, he would say, Astaghfirullah, Astaghfirullah, Rabbil Fir. And then the Imam knows the power of He knows the power of istighfar. He said, did you find any fruits for this istighfar? I see you making a lot of istighfar. He said, Wallahi, whenever I make dua to Allah, Allah answers my dua because of my istighfar. Any dua that I call unto Allah, Allah answers me because of my istighfar. The Imam said, all your dua, any dua that you make it accepted. He said, any dua. This is all but not going to be accepted. He said, what is the dua? He said, I made dua to Allah yesterday that I see the face of Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. He said to him, Wallahi laqad jurirtu ilayka jarra. I am Ahmad ibn Hanbal. He said, I am Ahmad ibn Hanbal. I was dragged to your tent. The soldiers dragged me to your tent. Your istighfar brought me here. Understand? That is the power of istighfar. So he said, Rabbi ighfirli. Sayyidina Sulaiman said, Rabbi ighfirli wa habli mulkan la yanbaghi li ahadin ba'di innaka antal wahhab. Back to the verse. And he checked the birds and he couldn't recognize the hoopoe. فَقَالَ مَا لِيَ لَا أَرَى الْهُدْهُدْ. Why don't see the hoopoe? The hoopoe is the hudhud. It's called the hoopoe in English. The hoopoe. So correct? So it's called the hoopoe. So he couldn't see the hoopoe. Here's a lesson for us. Try to extract the lesson by yourself here. Who can extract the lesson? I'll give you sweet the next time. So he said, وَتَفَقَّدَ الطَّيْرَ فَقَالَ مَا لِيَ لَا أَرَى الْهُدْهُدْ. Now remember, I'm going to give you a clue. Sayyidina Sulaiman's kingdom, it has jinn kind, it has mankind, it has birds, it has animals, it has this, it has that, everything. And amidst of all that, he says, where is the hoopoe? Can you pick up the lesson? Who can pick up the lesson? Yeah. Among all the great kingdom, the leader never forget a single small soldier. You see, the leader of all of this great kingdom and soldiers from birds, and he says, oh, there is one missing. The hoop was missing. Pay attention to the smallest person under your supervision. The smallest person. You are a general manager. You are this, you are that. Pay attention. Supervision. Don't say, I'm busy, I'm busy. I'm focusing only with the big people. I don't care about the small ones. It doesn't matter if we lose someone. I don't care. No, you have to care. As a leader, you have to care. Umar ibn Khattab لسئل عنها Umar. If a mule slipped on the road to Iraq, Umar would be questioned for that. Why you didn't? They understood the power of leadership, the power of being in a position of leadership. كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته. All of you are like under your supervision. This includes family, not only position of leadership like Khalifa, President, Rais, Malik, whatever, but also a family. You are the family leader as a man, as the husband. Then the whole family is your responsibility. قال صلى الله عليه وسلم بحسب امرئ من الإثم أن يضيع من يعول. He said it is considered ithm, sinful acts, that some people are under your supervision and you leave them to go into ruin. The son goes to drugs, and this one goes here to haram, and this one go begging on the road, and you are just sitting and doing nothing. But some people are like life. Some people, they are a burden on life. They didn't add to life, they didn't fix life, they didn't do their purpose in life. No, they themselves are an addition to life that needs someone to carry them. While they have hands, they have legs, they have everything, they have aql, they have everything. But they just lazy to work, lazy to do what they were supposed to do. Don't be that person. Take care of the smallest person in your family, in your community, in your town, in your country, if you are the leader of the country. Even if you are the leader of the country, some people leaders, they take the ulama, they put him in jail. They take this one, they put him there. Yeah, why? What is the reason? No one knows even. No one knows what they don't even present it to the courts. No trial, no standing in front of a judge or anything. Just take it. This is oppression, of course. ظلم. So, Sayyidina Sulaiman alayhi salam, why don't I see the hubu? Or he was absent? He couldn't be absent without the permission of Sayyidina Sulaiman. لأعذبنه عذابا شديدا. I should punish him a severe punishment. أو لأذبحنه, or I will slaughter him. أو ليأتيني بسلطان مبين. Or he should come to me with some news, or he has some excuse. He has some excuse, he has some valid reason, or some great news that he will come to me with this news. فمكث غير بعيد فقال أحط بما لم تحط به وجئتك من سبأ بنبأ يقين. Now after a while the hubu came. That bird flew and he started to speak to Sayyidina Sulaiman in his language that Sayyidina Sulaiman understood. And he said to Sayyidina Sulaiman, I came to you with some knowledge to a Nabi who was giving the great kingdom. I got some information that you don't have. Listen for us to humble. If you need to listen to the one who are listening you. If someone comes to say, I have an idea, go sit someone. I don't want to listen to you. No, listen to every single person. We look at the Sunnah, see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sahaba, who are of course etc. But mashura, he takes their consultation. And Sayyidina Salman trench al-Khandaq that came and Rasulullah didn't know about it. So it doesn't matter, I am the Prophet, I am the President, that I have knowledge of everything. No, you need to listen even to the first one. Maybe he has something that you don't have. So the who told the listen to Sayyidina Salman, I have some information that you don't have. What is that information? He said, وَجِئْتُكَ مِنْ سَبَإٍ بِنَبَإٍ يَقِينٍ. I came to you from Saba. The kingdom is called Kingdom of Saba in Yemen. I came to you with some certain news. إِنِّي وَجَدْتُ امْرَأَةً تَمْلِكُهُمْ. I saw there in the kingdom of Saba, Queen of Sheba. She is the one in charge. That queen is the one in charge. وَأُوتِيَتْ مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. She has so much of power. They were powerful people. The people of Saba, the kingdom of Saba was very powerful kingdom in the south. While in Palestine, the kingdom of Sayyidina Sulaiman was such a powerful kingdom indeed. He said, وَلَهَا عَرْشٌ عَظِيمٌ. It has such a great throne. وَجَدْتُهَا وَقَوْمَهَا يَسْجُدُونَ لِلشَّمْسِ مِنْ دُونِ اللَّهِ. I saw her and her people, they were prostrating to the sun beside Allah. So what is the lesson that you extract here? There is a lesson here. What is the lesson? The Hubu was so concerned about the hidayah of some nation. Don't be less than an ant, don't be less than a Hubu. An ant was concerned about the salvation of the people, of his people, and a Hubu was also concerned about the salvation and the safety and the iman of a nation of humans in the south of Yemen, Arabia, in the south of Arabia. So, إِنِّي وَجَدْتُ امْرَأَةً تَمْلِكُ. So the Hubu was so concerned about the tabligh of the deen, the conveying of the message. Why are we not concerned about it? The Ummah should be concerned about tabligh al-risala, sharing the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every single Muslim, and I'm stopping here inshallah. I'm stopping with this verse, that da'wah, these verses that we recited to you, the main lesson we learn is the lesson of da'wah, the lesson of sharing the message of Allah, everyone according to his capacity. We're living in a non-Muslim country. This might sound to be something that is bad, and we're living in a non-Muslim country, and there are so much of temptations, and so much of distractions, and fasad, corruption, this, that, but there is also some privileges. What is the privilege that you have that many people in Muslim countries don't have? The privilege of giving da'wah. لأن يهدي الله بك رجلا واحدا خير لك من حمر النعم. If Allah used you for the guidance of one single person, better for you than the red camels. And the red camels are a very expensive commodity in Arabia. Very expensive things, like having a Ferrari car today. It's better for you than having Ferrari cars. You know? That's if you one person accept Islam with you. One person accept Islam. And it's not difficult. Wallah, it's not difficult. If you give da'wah to Allah with an open heart, a lot of people accept Islam. You come to those people who are working with you, your neighbors, your friends. So, sometimes, Allah, people give da'wah. People come from overseas to Cape Town. And they speak to the taxi driver. I've seen that. And Sheikh, I spoke to the taxi driver. I'm an Arab from Saudi, from Egypt, from this, from that. And I was in an Uber. And I spoke to the taxi driver about Islam. And he became a Muslim. Can you please help him? And it happened many times in this business. Can you please follow up with this taxi driver so that he become more into Islam and coming from far to give da'wah to Allah, and we living with them. We should at least have every I'm not going to say every day, at least every week someone to accept Islam with us. And it's not difficult, just talk about the main pillars of Islam, Tawheed, La ilaha illallah, the akhlaq of Islam. Attract the person to Islam. People want to hear that. Someone accepted Islam in a location, he was saying, Sheikh, where were you all that time? Aina kuntum? Where were you, Sheikh? I was waiting for you. Why you didn't give me da'wah a long time ago? Now I am at my last age. I wish I knew Islam long time ago. But some people are shy, you know. What if I said they might embarrass me? So what if you got embarrassed for the sake of Allah? So what if you get embarrassed for the sake of Allah? If we do it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't be shy to convey the message of Allah. The missionaries are not shy to knock on your door and to say to you, Jesus love you. And they give you some back and say, Jesus love you. They're not shy of that. The people of the batil are not shy of their batil. And the people of the haqq are shy of the haqq. How can the people of the haqq be shy of the haqq? We should convey the message of Allah. Sheikh, what if someone said to me, are you trying to convert me? Someone said this to me. Said, are you trying to convert me, Sheikh? I said, yes, I am. He was surprised of that. I said, yes, of course, I'm trying to convert you. He said, why? I said, because I love good for you. I wish that you go to paradise. I'm giving you the message, the other side of the story that you're not exposed to. If you don't want it, up to you. But here it is. You heard it loud and clear. You have no excuse on the day of judgment to say I didn't know. Understand? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the understanding. القرآن الكريم ربيع قلوبنا وذهاب همومنا وأحزاننا يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك أن ترحمنا بالقرآن. اللهم اجعل اجتماعنا هذا اجتماعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل فينا ولا منا شقيا ولا محروما. وصل اللهم على سيدنا محمد. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. سبحانك اللهم